Hello, everyone. Cardell's favorite word. We're happy for another episode of Evolving You, and we're like together. We're usually virtual, so whoa, we're together. On this episode, we have two amazing PR companies with us. I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves, but first of all, I'm Danielle.
I'm Cardell.
And again, you're listening to Evolving You, where we encourage you to embrace your next realm. Let's just hop in. Emily, introduce yourself.
I'm Emily Blackwell, and I own Sanwell Public Relations in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And I'm Renee, and I own Legacy 31 PR from Nashville, Tennessee.
Perfect. So we're going to just jump in and talk about the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, because I know you all have some great stories to share with our audience, and I know that they can learn a lot from you all. So I'm just going to open the floor up. We can start with you, Amber. Just talk to me about how you started your company.
So Legacy has probably been like my biggest dream. Like I can go back to my journals from like 10th grade in high school and say like Legacy 31 PR is my biggest dream. I first wanted to be a journalist, but I was like, journalism was so one street from me. And so if you know me, you know I like to do like 5 million things at one time. So I like to manage. I like to be kind of bossy. I like to write. I like to do a lot of things. So PR was like that perfect field. And so it just so happened, I interned for the Commercial Appeal, which is Memphis newspaper. And I ended up doing more PR work rather than, journalism. So I was talking to my mentor and I was like, what is this? And she was like, okay, this is PR. And so when I started college, I originally went for journalism for a semester. And then after the semester, I went more the PR route. And so from there, I was just like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my life. This is my love. And I love everything about it.
Awesome. Emily, how do we get to Sanwell PR?
So it's kind of funny because Amber, we had the exact opposite journey. I wanted to be a journalist since I was little. And I started interning when I was at school at UTC, and I ended up going to Channel 12 in Chattanooga and then to Channel 3 after that as a producer. And it just really got old writing about the bad news of the world, especially during COVID, when that's all we talked about. And I mean, that's still really all we're talking about. It's ramping up again. But I knew that I loved writing about nonprofits, and I really liked the good news part of the news industry. So I decided to kind of start my own business with a former reporter at Channel 12 who I started my news career with. So that's kind of how Sanwell PR came about. And we mainly work with, nonprofits and small businesses.
Perfect. I love how all of this is connected to journalism. As you all know, I'm a journalist, so I'm team go journalism. Carlo is a hater because he's in marketing, but I love how it's all connected. You're right.
Y'all okay? I mean, you're here, so.
There's so much good purpose. I feel like journalism school really preps you for all the aspects of journalism, which is a lot of people think that that's news, but I love how we are representing the different aspects with the marketing agency, with the PR agencies. It's like a melting pot almost from journalism.
Right.
So with that, what would you say are some of the ups and downs that you have, I guess, experienced so far? Either one. We can start with you, Emily. It's okay.
So I feel like when I was in Channel 3, when I was in journalism, everything was kind of go. And I was used to deadlines, and I was used to, tight turns and making sure that everything was done that day. And with PR, it's a lot different in the sense that I have weeks, sometimes a month, to work on a project. And it doesn't necessarily have to be done that exact day that I have a meeting with someone. So that's been hard to get used to, but it's better. It's it's a lot better to take your time on something and be more creative than having to turn something that day. So I do like that aspect of it. It's just taking some getting used to.
Right. The deadlines are definitely better. I feel when you're
Yeah.
your own boss, it's easier than that crunch time of the show must be done by 6. You have
Exactly.
it, so that's great. Amber, what
Yeah.
about some ups and downs that you've experienced so far?
I think for me, it's the opposite. I'm partnered with 3 networks in New York. My majority of my clientele is in New York, so it's always something. And my clients are always pushing like that, 2-week deadline, 3-day deadline. There's always a deadline for something. And then there's this thing that people are always wanting more than they know that goes into PR. So, it's kind of like I end up doing PR, I end up doing some marketing, I end up doing some sponsorships. And I'm like, okay, y'all, I just want to focus on doing some PR right now. They're like, no, we want you to do this. We want you to do that. We want you to do this. I'm just like, y'all, I'm one person. I think, and also being a one-woman team, it's amazing because it's like, okay, Amber, I'm so glad. Like, look at what you're doing. But at the same time, you're like, whew, I need some help. And it's just like, okay, well, I can't get any help, but I'm here and I'm focused. And so it has its ups and downs, but for the most part, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right. Same thing. That's awesome.
And that's the one thing about in this business, people want you to do a lot. They give
Yes.
this task and then it turns into like, what do you want me to do again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for your social media. I'm here for this. And now we done created a whole nother scheme. Now I'm your secretary. Like, what is happening? So
I totally agree with you. It's everybody starts out wanting one thing and then you think you're on the same page with them. And by the end of the week, you're doing 16 things and you're like, wait, I don't really understand how we got here.
Right.
And I think that has a lot to do with people not really understanding what PR is and what marketing is. So I was excited to have this conversation.
Right. No, that's definitely a thing in our industry because people really don't understand and they don't understand like marketing is more, your internal things. Like I shouldn't be, fixing your logos and getting your collections together. When you come to me, you should be ready to go. But I spend like, I might spend three months trying to get your brand, solidified. And so you're like, okay, Amber, why are you not pitching? Why are you not, why am I in the media outlets? Well, I can't just send you out a media outlet and your brand looks like trash. I'm not going to even do that to myself or you because at the end of the day, I'm representing you, but you're a representation of me as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. Very true. I'm glad you brought that up because we want to highlight that for our listeners and then some of our clients, for everyone, the difference between marketing and PR, because someone asked, why are you having 2 PR agencies on your marketing? They're different. That's why we're talking about it. So understand that, as you said, marketing is with the logo. That's me and Cardell. We're working on logos now with clients. We're working on their social media image to get that up so that you have something to then take out and then for them. Like we're building the brand and then you are selling the brand, basically.
Right.
It's us trying to get people to understand that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times marketing and PR go hand in hand. You need both if you are a company. I think that the difference is PR, I'm working a lot with earned media. So I'm taking what you guys have done with their brand and just like Amber mentioned, and I'm crafting that to sound good to the media for them to blast their brand. Right. So you need both, in my opinion.
You definitely do. I always tell people marketing is internal and PR is external. It's like kind of like you have a house. And so marketing will be like, your inner house, your bedroom, your kitchen, you're getting all that stuff together. But then, your PR is like, that's like your yard, but in the same sense, like I'm sure y'all heard, you have to have your house in order. So in order to have PR, you have to have your house in order. So you need to have a firm marketing. So yeah, marketing and PR, they're both important. They both go hand in hand and you can't have one without the other.
Right, because it's like one thing is, and even like how y'all said already, like both of y'all are in PR, but it's like 2 different aspects of PR. With nonprofit, you're dealing with networks, so then that's a whole nother understanding of knowing who you actually need when you go out to your services, because you don't need to necessarily focus on the person that doesn't deal in that field. So it's like it's so many different aspects when it comes to this field that people don't understand. Because a lot of times they just think that, oh, we're just talking. Oh, you're just creating a flyer. Oh, you're just doing this. No, it's a thought process because it's so much happening all the time. You want this, you want that, you want it to look like, it's just a lot.
Of course. And like you said, there's a lot, and there's different types of PR. Like you said, there's nonprofit, there's lifestyle, there's entertainment, there's arts. And so you really have to fine tune exactly what you need. Like for me, I happen to work with, nonprofits. I work with the entertainment industry. My niche is in the entertainment industry. And so it's kind of like, people have to really fine tune where you want your brand at, where you see your brand at, and you need your marketing people to kind of guide you, because a lot of times they do not have guidance. They just know they want to be seen, and they want to be seen by a lot of people, and that's it. So it's kind of like, okay, I can get you seen by a lot of people, but like, where's our end result? Where are we going? Where do we see this going? And you have to have those marketing deadlines. You have to have those PR deadlines just so you can, see how everything's gonna play out.
And I feel like a lot of times too, if you are a company and you're selling a product, for instance, you're gonna want paid advertising. You know what I mean? Like if I'm pitching to the media, you have to have a story for the media to want to cover your company. And most of the time, that's pretty simple with nonprofits, right? I mean, they're giving back to the community. They kind of already have a story. But for companies, for-profit companies, that's a little bit more difficult to do. So I would almost suggest, PR and marketing. You need both team members to kind of make a campaign.
Right. And yeah, like you need both team members and PR and marketing. You need two people to do it. It's too much for one person to do both. It really is. And I know for me, like, I work with some smaller brands, and they feel like they're like, I don't know, Beyonce, and they're wanting, all this other stuff. It's like, no, we're still small over here. We got to we got to start local and then build our way up to national. It's just like, okay.
That is so funny that you say that, because I feel like when people think of PR, they automatically think I'm going to get on national news.
And we have to start local.
They always think that. Yeah, exactly. Like nobody even knows who you are. I don't think it's going to happen for you instantly.
Okay.
Calm down.
Nothing at all.
Calm down. So to piggyback off of that, what would you say, your advice for that small business who they want to go straight to New York and they are in Antioch, Tennessee? What would you say to them on what do they need to do to build their brand? How can they start now to eventually get there?
Start local. I will almost say at this point in time, with, everything I've been doing, you really do not need a publicist until you're ready to be on that national level. Start local. There should be people coming to you. Like if I started a business tomorrow, I wouldn't expect for the whole nation to want to be a part of it. But there should be a part where, I'm advertising on my own and I'm actually getting what I want to get together. And then people should also be kind of asking for you. Like people should be asking like, hey, can you do an interview here? Can you do an interview there? Get your own buzz up. And when you get your own buzz, when people are like finally coming to you and wanting to know what you're doing, because when people want to know what you're doing, it makes my job so much easier. I'm not having to just like pick pennies up like, hey, I don't know what you're doing. Like, and the thing is, a lot of people think they're all doing something spectacular.
Yes.
And it might be spectacular to you, but like the next person might not care. And that's just the honest truth. It's okay though. And so that's why you need to get your own little local buzz going. When you get your local buzz, then let's work on a national level. So get your local buzz first. And then once you go from your local, then, start working on your national, start working on your national PR level, but start local, start local, get everything, start with your city, your community, from your community, your whole city, your state, work from there. So don't start big, because when you start big, you're going to hurt yourself, but start small and build up.
That's good.
Yeah. And I also think I always explain it with the news cycle too. So when I'm producing a newscast, I pull something local. If it goes viral, like if more people start picking it up, it goes regional, then it goes national. So it's just like you said, it's in steps.
Wow.
It's something that goes viral doesn't automatically go to national TV. It's the local people who pick it up first. And then other stations regionally pick it up, and then it gets picked up nationally. So that's exactly what you have to do for your company.
And I think one thing which y'all saying that, I want people to understand this. that you got to start somewhere. And then if you go somewhere too fast, then you're going to be confused. You're not going to be prepared for where you're going. But like she said, if you start local, then go regionally, then you're going to be able to be ready to go nationally, because now you understand each level as you go up and appreciate each level as you go. Because a lot of people go viral, then they're gone tomorrow. We don't even know who they are anymore. We don't even know what they're doing.
That's true.
It's like, take the baby steps and appreciate those baby steps, because when you blow up, make sure that it's longevity with your blow up.
Right, that's good. That's good.
That's a good point.
Sometimes when you move too fast, and if that blow up all of a sudden like deflates, then it's the small community who will keep you afloat because they know you and they were there for you. So that's very, very good to keep that in mind. Emily, do you follow a similar, or do you tell your nonprofits that same thing of them wanting to go beyond Chattanooga, beyond that Chattanooga area?
I do. I tell them that, you know, first we need to get you seen in the small town. And then that usually results in regional coverage. You know, I haven't branched out into national coverage. I mean, we were in California, but that's the only other state that we've been in besides Tennessee. So right now I'm doing regional and local. So a lot of the clients tend to understand that. A lot of the nonprofits do. It's really the businesses, the for-profit businesses, that have a hard time grasping the
I want to be now.
Exactly. Like, I want to be seen nationally. So I think once you explain it to them, though, they understand it from then on.
Awesome. So with all of this being said, if someone, they're in school now and they're aspiring to get to PR, what would you tell them? How can they get to where you are? How can they get to the level of owning their own business in PR if they would like to do that? What would be your advice for them? Amber, you can start if you would like to. It looks like you have something profound to say. So that's why I'm going studying on something.
No, and it honestly doesn't have anything to do with PR. It's just this thing of don't give up. Like, I can say just for me, not giving up has been the biggest thing. And you know, and I know it sounds so cliche, but like keeping God first, keeping a good group of friends, because I can promise you every other day I'm calling one of my friends like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. But you know, it's really the thing of like, you know, just not giving up and taking those chances. I know for me, in college, I interned for Brandy Evans, but it took 3 times for me. It took 3 times for me to apply for the position. Because the first time I was like, well, I'm not good enough. I'm just a girl from Memphis, you know, even though she's from Memphis, I'm like, I'm just a girl from Memphis. And, you know, like, she's not going to pick me because she's out in LA. And I was like, well, you know, I saw it again. And I was like, still, I'm not good enough. And then the third time I was like, you know what, God, if I see this again, I'm going to apply for it. So, you know, then I applied for it. I worked with Brandy for 5 years. And even with like my clients now, I'm like, you know, I couldn't imagine having the clients I have now, but it really goes with not giving up and learn. You're going to learn. So you learn some in the classroom, but honestly, get out there and intern. And I know we don't like to work for free sometimes, but you know, when you do have to pay your dues in the industry. That's just what it is. You have to pay your dues in the industry, and not only pay your dues in the industry, but learn. And in PR, get those connections, get those networks, because in PR, your biggest thing is your relationships. You have to have those good relationships. Have those relationships, keep those relationships, because that one person you meet, you know, randomly one day might help you open another door 5 years later. I've seen it. I've been in those positions before. And really just ask questions. You know, it's really the thing of just asking questions, learning. I interned underneath one of my professors, stayed very close to her. And, you know, still to this day, when I need some kind of advice, you know, I still kind of go to her. So, you know, you have to find those mentors, find those people who really want you to win, but just really stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself, stay true to your heart, and be passionate about what you do. Because when you're passionate about what you want to do, everything else is going to happen. It's going to happen. Might happen slowly, but it's going to happen.
It will happen. Trust the process.
Yeah.
It will happen. Any extra advice?
You know, I just think the biggest thing for me was making connections, and a lot of that happened in the newsroom. And it helped that I had worked at 2 news stations before. So just like you mentioned about mentors, that is the most important part of where I am today, is because I found a mentor who helped me get to channel 12, who helped me get to channel 3. And then I never dreamed of owning my own business. I never even wanted to do that. I thought I was going to continue in journalism and be in this career forever. Even when I was sad about going to work every day, I just thought, this is the career path I've chosen. This is what I have to do. And all of a sudden I thought to myself, actually, I don't have to do this. I can go on a different path if I want to. And I think that, just like you said, Amber, with the support system, that's the only reason why I ventured on this path to begin with. And the only reason I'm still on this path is because of the connections and the friendships I've made to keep me on this path. So I think that's a big deal. You know, go to school, find your mentor, and stick with that person.
Loyalty is key. I like that, because you know, if you have a friend that moves across the country and you want a client to help you out, happen. Anything is possible.
Anything. It's such a small world.
It really is.
Keep your connections close. I guess I'll let you go. I've been talking a lot.
What I want to say is just to kind of pick out some of the similarities, because just how you said that you have to build relationships with people to get to where you're going. When it comes to marketing, we have to build relationships with the customers. We have to build relationships with everybody that wants to be a part of your product or your brand. So that is what we do. So like they have said, they have to build connections with the higher level people. So you got to kind of think about, okay, when, like they said, when do I need PR? You need PR when you get up to that level of saying, hey, I need to get bigger connections. I need to get a bigger out view. I need to get bigger, bigger, bigger. But you can't do bigger, bigger, bigger if you never did the lower, lower, lower. So it's like on a pedestal. Like, I'm not saying PR is better than marketing,
Definitely not.
But marketing is like, we nurse the brand. And then it's like, you are the caregiver for it after we pass it along. So it's like, we have taken care of the baby, but now we saying, hey, we're tired. We're like the grandparents.
I like that explanation, because you're literally the person who creates the brand, and we're the people who blast the brand. So that's a good way of explaining it.
Or let me switch that. We are the parents and y'all are the grandparents, because grandparents like to boast about their grandkids all the time. You see my grandbaby, look at my grandbaby.
Yes, okay, that's it.
Definitely the grandparents that want to talk about your grandbaby all the time. I need you to see my grandbaby.
Right, you have pictures in the
yes. And we're like, we think that they're the best, and we think that they do the best.
That's a good analogy. That's good.
So it's like, just to think about where you are. Do I need to nurse this baby, or is I'm ready to be free? Because that way you're now able to get a clear understanding of where you need to go in your business for your business to go to that next level. Because you don't want to be getting upset because you went to PR and then you're like, they can't help me. They don't know what they're doing. And now you're talking junk. You're putting all these different type of stigmas on this person that is excellent at their job, but you just came in at the wrong time. So understand your timing and where you are before you approach anybody. Because even like when it comes to us with the marketing at the lower level, some people may not have the funds, but you got to work up towards it. You just can't say, I want a marketing team, but then when you want something done, you can't afford to pay for it. Or it's not so much as paying for it, you don't have the thought process of what you're trying to do. Because in like one of our podcasts, we talked about understanding your why. So when you understand your why of what you're doing, you're able to convey it. Because if you're starting a business and you say that I want to make money, that's why I started this business. Because me and Amber know that back in the day when
we've been there.
They said, I just want the money. Like, no, we need a more of a thought process.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I want money too, but I can't tell people that. So, like, I need a storyline, okay?
So it's just like, we help you on different levels of building your story. So like I say, we build the ground level story, and then they do the grandparent and take that story and blow it way out of proportion. They make you sound so good and grand. Like, are they really?
But
right.
Yeah.
Why you're paying PR, because they take your brand, like you said, and they are just extra with it, which is what you want. But the key thing that Cardell said there was making sure that you're ready for that process and understanding that process and not just hopping into it. And then your expectations are not met because you didn't really understand the process. Right. So I think the key that we wanted to get to our listeners and our viewers. I believe I've asked anything else y'all want to add to that. I think we covered it all with marketing.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Because I know like a lot of times people downplay what we do because they just like, oh, I can go do it myself. You can do it yourself, but why stress yourself out? You got 4 people on here that can help you elevate to your next level. So I just want y'all to understand and hear this information and understand where you are. And then we would like for you all just to kind of give some of your contact information. So if people want to reach out, they can reach out to you, because I know that either one you go with, they're going to get you to where you need to be. Because like I say, Emily, she's in the field of the nonprofits. You got Amber that deals within the networks, and they both are excellent at what they do, but they possess different platforms and different arenas and have different connections. So first, let's go back real quick. Do your homework. Let's do your homework, viewers.
Please do your homework.
Do your homework. Because once you do your homework beforehand, you don't have to stress about it. And then, let me say this in a nice way, then you won't stress me out. So I'm just like, then we all will understand and know our boundaries of what you can do and what I can do and what you should ask me for and who you think I should recommend. Because in that way, we're not all stressed out or looking at each other or me mugging. Or when I see you call me, I'm just like,
they're calling again.
That's that call. I'm in a meeting. God bless you.
In a meeting to the table.
I think it's important to look at people's services on their website. I think you're going to find a lot about a company by looking at their website. And, I know that I have my portfolio on there. You can see everything that you need to know about what I can offer. And that is what I would recommend to people. Look at the website and see what their services are and see what they've done in the past. And if that is something that you're looking to do.
Right. And if you don't see services or, any history, then how about we just question some things, make some phone calls, emails, ask questions. Let's ask questions here. And I think that would help you get to where you're going. Because we're not haters and we love to see every business thrive. Please, please, please share your contact info. Amber, we can start with you.
Okay, so legacy31pr.com, Facebook and Instagram, legacy31pr.
Awesome. Emily, how can we get in contact with you?
sanwellpr.com, SAN as in Nancy, WELLPR.com, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Sanwell PR.
Awesome. So when you're ready for the PR, please contact them. If you're looking for a company, do your research and then contact them, because I promise you, these are the top innovation, really. So what are you doing? Okay, do your research. Okay, do your research and then contact them. And
what a title that we just got.
Right.
No pressure at all.
I'm going to start putting that in our Twitter bio, top PR firm in the nation.
Yes, okay.
You actually will put that in your Twitter bio? We have to watch it. I am going to watch your bio for the next few days.
I've been looking for new content.
That's definitely it.
We're done. You are so extra. Thank you.
She's PR, so
Right. They are taking that.
The grandparents.
Up with that. Thank you both for being with us. And if you want to start your marketing journey, check out transitioningyou.com. The transition Cardell and I can definitely help you out with that. And we thank you for watching another wonderful, informative episode of Evolving You. And until next time, guys, do not forget to embrace your next ram. Bye.